There is a passage in the Quran that human beings are born in struggle, in pain. That from the beginning of life to the last breath, you're just fighting against forces you don't see, you don't understand. You want to be alive. You don't know why you want to be alive, you just don't want to die. You know, if you take the story of Adam and Eve, literally, that there was in fact this man and this woman in the Garden of Eden. And as the Greeks would say, it was the golden race. They had never experienced pain, they had never experienced work, they had never experienced any negative emotions. Everything about them was pleasant. They had no worries, you know, no struggle, no strife of any kind. Then all of a sudden a desire came about. And the problem with desire is the moment you have a desire, you have a lack, or at least you feel like you have a lack. That there is something that you don't have. And for them it was what, you know, they saw. Islamic tradition, it's wheat. The Jewish tradition, it's the apple. And so they go near this tree, they take a bite off of this apple, and God sees them. They're ashamed, and God says, you guys are no longer worthy of being in paradise. I'm going to cast you out. And, you know, they're thrown down here. And it says that, you know, you will have to survive with your own blood and your own sweat. Your life is going to be filled with struggle. See, in the Old Testament, as well as the Quran. You know, for all these thousands of years, we've been trying to find not so much physical rest, but emotional, intellectual, spiritual rest, where you can kind of just sit and say, there is no place I want to go. There is nothing I want to do. I am at peace. I'm not talking about these moments that all of us have, whether you go to a yoga shop or you listen to someone giving a lecture or a movie. He's basically saying that I was born in the cradle of struggle. I was born homeless, and that's what Saman is. Mara nasar na saman afaridan. I was basically born homeless. Parishunam parishun afaridan. Parishun means despair. You know, the not enoughness, the not finding where happiness is, how happiness can be reached, how it can be possessed, how it can be obtained, how it can be protected, how it can be nourished. You know, when you don't have a home, what you have is despair. And that's what he says. First line, I was born homeless. Second line, Parishunam parishun afaridan. It's kind of like Kierkegaard, who said that he was just born an old man. That when he was like 6 months old, you could see wrinkles on him, as if he had lived like 90 years. He had forgotten how to smile. The next line is Parishun khataran raftan dar khak. That those who lived in the cradle of despair, they eventually died, and out of their ash, out of their soil, they created me. Shahriyar is a Persian poet. He has this beautiful poem. زندگانی مو زمین زندان ماست زندگانی درد بی درمان ماست زندگانی مو زمین زندان ماست. We are living beings in the prison of the world. زندگانی درد بی درمان ماست. That our life is a pain that has no remedy. That life itself is a disease that has no remedy. All the magnificent temples I built for myself, physically, emotionally, intellectually, there are going to be these moments where I'm going to feel absolutely homeless. It seems to me that he was feeling extremely and intensely homeless, abandoned. He felt disconnected. He was in a state of contraction. this is surely not a sort of positive thinking that Westerners enjoy. But again, if you take this poem to Adam and Eve and how they were pushed out and they lived in exile, that's your story and my story. No one has been able to go back to paradise and then live out their lives. All of us have been in exile and are in exile and will continue to be in exile. And in some ways you could say we will never go home. The promised land will never ever be reached by any of us. And so hopelessness and homelessness, they're going to be your companion as long as you live. I have to say there is something about Persian poets that's really disturbing. For me, it's a good thing. I like it. Khayyam says the same thing, that گردون کمری ز عمر فرسوده ماست دریا اثری ز اشک آلوده ماست. That if you want to know how the oceans are created, it's our tears. Humanity has wept ever since they've been created, ever since they found themselves on this planet, because they looked for a home but they couldn't find one. They looked for hope, but eventually everything turned into ash. And they wept and wept and wept. Or there is this poem by Hafiz, سینه مالا مال درد است ای دریغا مرهمی دل ز تنهایی به جان آمد خدا را همدمی. That human beings have been given a heart, and it's just designed to be broken. Beautiful stuff,